Welcome back to Law Made Simple. I know it's been a while since our last episode, but we're back and I'm excited to be back. Gosh, can I sound any more exciting? But I'm excited to be back. I wanted us to cover on any case on law of contract, but I stumbled upon this exciting concept that I believed was something worth talking about, and this concept is that of the dying declaration. Okay, so when someone is dying and they say something about what happened to them, the law treats that as evidence. So why is that? Because there is a belief that a person on the brink of death won't have a reason to lie, yeah? So it's compelling evidence. It's a compelling evidence, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. And we are going to be discussing it in this case that, okay, yeah, I'm going to cite it because I've just forgotten the citation. Okay, now stick around as we look at this case and the concept of the dying declaration. So, in this case, we're looking at a fight that happened in Limbe. That was sometime in 2008. And the first accused got into an argument with the deceased. Now, we don't really know what happened, why they were arguing. Could have been personal. I don't know, heat of the moment type thing. But they were arguing and the argument escalated. It ended up in the deceased being stabbed. But the story that the first accused told in court was that the first accused went to this shebeen and he was drinking there with some friends, and then the deceased came in with another group and they were also drinking, and then another person came in and he had money. Apparently he had stolen money from, I don't know, and people were asking him for money. And in the first place, why are you bringing another crime into the picture? Let's just talk about what we're talking about. Why are you bringing out other issues? He's there, the first accused, talking about this guy who had stolen money. Not important. But then this guy comes in and he has money and he's just buying drinks for everybody. And then he told the person brewing the beer to give the first accused a cup of alcohol so that he should share with the deceased. And I guess the deceased didn't like this, so he just goes up there and just takes the cup and then takes it to where he was drinking with the other friends. And the first accused also got pissed. And by then, he says he did not confront the deceased. He just asked this other guy for more money so that he should buy another cup. And yeah, this person gave him 100 kwacha to buy the beer, and he did that, and it pissed off the deceased. And then the deceased left his table, went to the first accused table, and started quarreling there. They started a fight. Hey, you're jealous of me, blah 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 blah. Yeah, a fight. That's what happened. That's what he said in court happened. Now here's where the dying declaration comes in. A witness who saw the two fighting had heard the deceased say that it was the first accused that stabbed him. So I'm saying the first accused because this case had two accused persons. It had the first accused, the second accused, who was later acquitted at some point. Yeah, so I'm going to keep referring to him as the first accused. Shortly after the deceased where was I? Okay, so as I was saying, a witness saw the two fighting and heard the deceased say that it was the first accused that stabbed him. Shortly after, the deceased collapsed and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. And that statement that he said that the first accused is the one that stabbed me became the critical piece of evidence in this case. Now, let's look deep into this dying declaration thing. So according to law, when someone is at the point of death and makes a statement about how they were injured or how they got their injuries, that statement can be admitted as evidence. It's very compelling. It's based on the idea that we talked about, that somebody that knows they're dying has no reason to lie. And in Malawi, probably not just Malawi, but then we're talking about Malawi, the dying declaration is often considered, and yeah, it's looked at as a critical piece of evidence. However, they're not automatically accepted without scrutiny because the court has to consider a couple of circumstances on how this statement was made. So it's not like an automatic thing that, okay, this is going to be accepted and all that, which I think is a good thing. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it up to you to decide. Do you think it is supposed to be taken as something crucial, and is it enough evidence to convict someone? That's something that I'm going to leave up to you to decide and think about. So, okay, why does the dying declaration matter? How reliable is a dying declaration? Just because someone is dying doesn't mean that they have a full understanding of what's happening around them. There's just like a lot of things that you're supposed to consider, yeah? And these questions come up in cases where a dying declaration is being considered as part of evidence. In this case, the court found that the first accused was guilty of manslaughter because of the dying declaration, because the witness actually stood up and said, "This is what the deceased said to me," and the witness was evaluated, and all these circumstances were considered. If, say, you were the judge, would you have placed the same weight on what the deceased said in this case? Or would you have questioned whether this statement was enough to convict the first accused? These are the kinds of questions that show up in this when it comes to dealing with dying declarations. It's never as straightforward. Okay, that's all for today on our episode on Law Made Simple. I hope this gave you something to think about. If you find anything interesting, if you found this interesting, share it with someone who might enjoy learning about the law in a simpler way. Until next time, I'm Bempomale, and we're here to make sense of Malawi's legal maze. See you next time.